We studied that what kind of the working condition was there and how the women and children were affected because of the harsh working condition. And we also studied that how the protest continued in different parts of England against that harsh working condition and living condition. And now we will read that how the government came under pressure because of the protest, and finally government was ready to accept the reform. We also read about that how the government has created a new house in the parliament, and that was the House of Commons. Now what reforms were brought in the working condition through the laws or through the legal process, that we will discuss over here today. So in 18 reform through the laws up to 1833, many children under the 9 of the age were employed. We discussed that more than 50% people started their work under the age of 9. When they used to be called to work in the factory, they were employed in the factory and they were exploited to a lot uh, in the factory. So that we discussed in the last class. Now due to the protest movement, there were some reforms took place, and after 1833 an act was passed where the employment of the children under the age of 9 was prohibited. Now factory cannot employ the children under the age of 9. So minimum age was the 9 age. What is the minimum age for working today? What is the minimum age for the employment? 14 years. 14 years. Below the 14 year children are not supposed to be employed in the work. After intense protest by the workers, an act was passed, and under this act the children under the 9 could not be employed in the factories. Limit of the working hours was 12 hours, earlier more than 12 hours, and provided a number of factory inspectors. But this could not be stopped. Laws were passed, but they could not be implemented properly. So an officer was appointed who would make sure that the laws which has been framed by the parliament are implemented properly in the factory, and that officer was called as the factory inspector. So what was the work of the factory inspector? His work was to go in the factories to see whether the children are more than the age of 9 or not, whether the rules which are framed by the government are properly followed or not. So that was the work of the factory inspector, and he was the responsible person to implement all these laws in the factory. Then in 1847 the protest continued. An act was passed to reduce the working hours from 12 to 10 hours. Now all the adult male, female and children have to work only for the 10 hours, not more than that, and right now the working hours are 8 hours. So it was started in 1847, but between 1819 to 1847 and before 1819 there were many protests. A lot of protests took place, and there were many changes took place during that time. Initially when the act was passed in 1819 that the children less than 9 years cannot be employed in the factory, but that act was only for the factory, not for the mining and collieries. As a result, those children who were working in the factories under the age of 9 at that time after 1819, they were shifted to the coal mines, and the working condition in coal mines are worse than the factories. As a result, the children were sent to work in the coal mines, and under the extreme hardship they used to work in the coal mine. Then a commission was set up by the government to inquire whether the working condition is good in the coal mine or not, because many writers wrote about the harsh working condition in the coal mine. And 1842 a commission was founded by the government, and that inquired in the working condition of coal mines, and it published a report in 1842. And after the 1842 the government came under pressure, and it passed a act also that children cannot be employed in the coal, especially the women and children cannot be given the work in the coal mine underground. They have to remain on the ground, they cannot go into the coal mine. But finally the protest continued because the factory inspector who were employed, they were also equally corrupt and they could be easily bribed because they were given very less salary. So to earn more money, these factory inspectors used to take the bribe and they used to give the false information to the government. As a result, the child labor continued, but the protest was also going on simultaneously, and 1847 was the time when the 10 hours bill was passed. So it limited the hours for women and the children, and 10 hours a day was also for the male worker. So these reforms were done after a lot of protest for more than 30 years. Now these act introduced only in the textile industry that we have discussed. We have discussed that how the commission was set up in 1842, that the working condition in mine is very worse and more children had been put in the coal mines. We also discussed that Mines and Quarries Act of 1842 banned children under the age and women working underground. And in 1847, under age of 18 and women cannot work in factory or mine more than 10 hours. Now these act has to be enforced by the factory inspector that I told you, but inspectors were poorly paid and they could be easily bribed. So they used to give the false information to the government. As a result, child labor could not be stopped. Secondly, parents also lied about the real age of the children. They used to give the false information to the factory owner that the age of the children is more than age of 18 or 9 years, because the children were considered to be the earning hand in the family, and the living condition or the living cost was very high in the urban areas. So the parents also wanted that their children should earn money so that they can also supplement the earning of the family, and their family can be run very well with the help of the income also. So they were complementary in the income of the family. As a result, the parents wanted that the children should be employed in the factory. So generally they used to give the wrong information about the age of a child. As a result, though illegally, the child labor continued for a long period of time. Now, finally, this is the epilogue of the chapter. There are certain debate on the Industrial Revolution. Some historians believe that the time between 1780 to 1840 was considered as the Industrial Revolution, and it can be considered, and they give a lot of logic that why the period between 1780s to 1820s, that is the 40 years of time, should be considered as the age of Industrial Revolution. But there are certain historians nowadays who are not willing to accept that this period can be rightly called as the age of Industrial Revolution. So that debate we will discuss over here. The term Industrial Revolution has been challenged by the modern historians, and industrialization was a gradual change in industrial sector rather than the sudden revolution. So first logic which is given by the people who are against the industrial revolution is, they say that the industrial revolution was too slow and it cannot be called a revolution. Revolution is a term which is used for a fast and frantic change, but the industrial revolution which took place between 1780 to 1820 was too gradual to be called as industrial revolution. It cannot be called as an industrial revolution because the process was very slow, and in revolution slow process is not there. Then the concentration of worker in factories and wide use of money were already existed prior to the 19th century. So a number of workers who migrated to the factories because they sold their small piece of land to the big landowners, and enclosures were created in this way. They were there before the coming of the 19th century, and industrialization carried out these processes to the new level. Large areas of England, the logic which is also given by the people who are against the industrial revolution age, they say that this industrial revolution was concentrated only in a few pockets of England. It was not uniform throughout the land of England because the factories were mainly concentrated in a few cities, and these cities were mainly the city of London. It was an important industrial town, and Manchester, Birmingham, and Newcastle. Apart from that, other areas of England was totally untouched by this industrial revolution, and a revolution which is only concentrated in a small area cannot be called a revolution. Revolution is something that which is having a wide implication, which is having a wide impact throughout the country. So then it can be called as a revolution. So this is not the right term which can be used for the period of 1780 to 1820 according to these new kind of history. Then could the growth of in the cotton and iron industry or in foreign trade from 1780s to 1820s be called revolutionary? If maximum change which took place in the cotton and iron industry, but still it cannot be called a revolution. Because if we talk about the cotton industry, England is a temperate kind of climate and where cotton cultivation cannot be done. So mainly cotton industry which had grown at that time that got its growth because of the trade with India. Because maximum cotton, raw cotton was traded with India and it was taken from India as well as from US, and the industrial sector which was developing in England that was developing because of the trade of England and India and America. So the cotton industry owes its growth not because of the England but because of other countries. That's why it cannot be called an industrial revolution in England. And iron industry was also heavily dependent upon the foreign trade with other countries. So due to the rise in the foreign trade, these industries also grew rapidly. So that cannot be called the industrial revolution in England because external factors are responsible for these development. Then textile industry relied on non-British raw material that on the sale and from the abroad, that is India. Metallic money and steam power was rare in the 19th century. The latest technology of that time was the steam power. But the engine of the steam used to be very costly at that time and they were implemented in very less numbers in the factory. Most of the work till that time was done with the hands. As a result, we cannot call it an industrial revolution because till the works were mainly done with the hands. The rapid growth in British imports and exports from the 1780s occurred due to the resumption of the trade with North America. So after 1820s, the trade was resumed of England with America. Before that, there was a halt in the trade between America and Britain. And why it happened? Because before that, there was American Civil War. And American War of Independence was started from 1773 to 75-77. It continued. And it finally ended by the time of 1780s. So due to the American Civil War, the trade was highly disrupted between England and America. So there was a decline in the trade, but when it was restarted after 1780s, so there was a rapid growth of the trade, and it seems that there is a kind of revolution. That's why the old historians used to call it the Industrial Revolution because of the resumption of the trade with America. But rightly, it was not a revolution; it was only restarting of the trade. The American War of Independence had disrupted this trade that we discussed. Then, sustained industrial growth was to be seen after 1815 to 1820. Why after 1815 there was a rapid growth in industrial sector? Because in 1815 Napoleon got a defeat at the Battle of Waterloo. As a result, the trade which was disrupted with the other countries of England that was resumed and it was got a full swing during that time 1815 to 20. As a result, there was more economic growth between the period of 1815 to 20 and maximum growth is concentrated in this period. So the entire period between 1780 to 1820 cannot be called as the Industrial Revolution age. So that is another logic which is given by these modern historians. Then the French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars affected industries and factories the decade after 1793. French Revolution took place in France Thereafter, there was a new kind of regime, that is the reign of terror. But at that time, the trade was not good. Thereafter, Napoleon became the military monarch of France, and he started conquering the parts of Europe. And he followed the policy of blockade. He blocked the trade of England to other countries. As a result, during that time, there was no industrial growth in England. So the period between 1780 to 1820 cannot be called as the industrial age because of these frequent war with the Napoleon and French Revolution. There was less growth in the industrial sector. Industrialization closely related with the investment and capital, building of infrastructure, installing new machines, and rising productivity. So this was the period when these things used to be done. Between 1780 to 1815, there was maximum investment of capital in the industrial sector. Building and infrastructure was built. Railways, roadways was built during that time. New machines were installed, but the productivity was rising. It used to be very slow rising of productivity. Mainly there was a rapid productivity after the 1820s because whatever investment was done during before 1820 brought its fruit only after 1820. So we can say that the period after 1820 there was a rapid rise in productivity. Before that there was only investment, installing new machines and making infrastructure. Productivity was not much before the period of 1820. So the period between 1780 to 1820 cannot be rightly called as the industrial revolution age because of less productivity. Then the cotton, iron and engineering industries had accounted for less than half of the industrial production until 1840. So these were the industries. Cotton industry was the largest industry, then iron industry became the largest industry. Engineering industries, which used to manufacture engine, especially made up of the steam technology, was there in England, but they were less than 50%. Still, more than 50% was the production which was coming from the handicraft industry. And in handicraft industry, the traditional skills were used. So this period was not an industrial age. Why the British economic growth was faster in 1815? So we can say that there was a rapid economic growth in Britain after 1815, but it was because of the end of Napoleonic War, not because of the industrial. Historians pointed out that from 1760s to 1815, Britain tried to do two things. This was the period which the old historians used to call that this was the industrial age between 1780 to 1815 or 1760 to 1815. This was the period which has been called as the industrial revolution age. But at that time, we can say that the England was having two problems. First of all, uh, England was fighting the war with the rest of the Europe because Napoleon became the monarch of France and he was continually attacking upon England and its ally countries. So England was busy with the France in wars and other European countries. Apart from that, England was also busy in the American War of Independence. So in that period of time, England was not able to focus only on industrial development. And when a country was not able to focus on industrial development, how that age can be called as the industrial age? And they borrowed capital from other countries also to fight the wars rather than doing the investment in the factories. So whatever money was borrowed by the England at that time, most of the money was spent in the war expenditure. It was not spent for building infrastructure or industries. So this period cannot be rightly called as the industrial period. Then nearly 35% of the cost of the war was collected from the people as the tax. A lot of tax was implemented on the people. As a result, their living condition also became worse. Workers of the factories and farms were transformed, transferred to the army because a number of soldiers were required to fight the war with France, and they were also required to fight the war in the American continent due to the American War of Independence. And at that time, a number of wars or number of battle also took place in India, like Battle of Plassey, which took place in 1757. In 1764, Battle of Buxar. Thereafter, many battles were fought in India, like the Karnataka Wars, which was France. or that are also called as the Anglo-French War, the wars which were fought with the Marathas. So a number of battles had to be fought by the England in different parts of the world, including India, America, and Europe. And at that time, most of the soldiers were required from England, and these soldiers were employed on a large scale, and mainly where from England got its soldier, they were mainly transferred from the factories and the farm. So the workers of the factory and the farm were transferred to the army so that they can fight battle for England. And when workers were not available in the factories, how the industries can develop. So this was a period of turmoil for the England, and in that period, maximum battles were fought. So that period cannot be the industrial revolution period in England because England was not focusing on the industries at that. So it is wrong to say that between the 1780s to 1820 was the period of industrial revolution. Then rise in the food prices adversely affected the buying of the consumer goods by the poor. And when the goods were not sold in the market, how the industries can produce the goods? Generally, there is a balance between the demand and supply, and industries generally produce the product when their demand is in the market. But at that time, the income of the people in England was highly affected, and their living condition was also not good. The prices used to be very high of the daily commodities. So how the industries can produce more good when there is no demand in the market? So the production was very low during the period of 1780 to 1820. As a result, it cannot be rightly called as the industrial revolution age. And Napoleon's policy of blockade and British response to them led to the closing of Europe to the British traders because most of the Europe was under the control of Napoleon and Napoleon was against the Britain. So Britain was not having a good trading relation with the rest of European countries. As a result, when there was no foreign trade by the Britain, the European countries, then how that industrial development can take place in a country who is very close to Europe. So this was not the period of industrial revolution. So these all are the debates or the arguments which are given by the modern historians that the period between 1780 to 1820 was not the period of industrial revolution. The word industrial used with the word revolution is too limited because the changes not happened only in the industrial sector. A number of changes also took place at that time in agricultural sector, mining sector, and in society also. So what changes took place in the society? The bourgeoisie and the new class of workers. At that time, a new rich class emerged, and that is called bourgeoisie. And they used to live a high standard of life. So that appeared at that time in urban areas. As a result, it appeared that England is developing. So that is because of the change in the society. In 1851, a great exhibition was displayed, and it was displayed in specially constructed house that is the Crystal Palace in London, where the achievement of the British industry was displayed in front of the general public. At that time, half of the population was living in urban areas. So 50% people used to live in the urban areas at that time. And if we look at the exhibition, we will find that maximum achievement which was displayed in 1851 in the Crystal Palace was from the period after the 1820. So we can say that rapid development in industrial sector took place after 1820, not before that. And by the 1851, 50% people used to live in the urban areas, but of the workers in town, as many as well in the handicraft unit in the factory. But those people who used to live in the urban areas, most of them were the workers, and these workers were not in the factories. Rather, maximum workers were employed in the handicraft industry, and this industry cannot come under the industrial revolution. So this period was not an industrial revolution. This is an image of that Crystal Palace where this exhibition was displayed, and most of the achievement of this exhibition was belonging after the period of 1820, not before that. From the 1850s, people living in towns increased dramatically, and most of these were workers in the industry, the working class. So there was a rapid urbanization after 1850. And why the urbanization takes place? It is because of the development of secondary sector or tertiary. Secondary sector means industrial sector. Only 20% of Britain's workforce now lived in rural areas. Earlier, before 1850, there were 50% who were living in the urban area and 50% who were living in the rural area. But after 1850, 20% people were living in the rural area, which means 80% people were living in the urban area. So after 1850, there was rapid urbanization. And why this rapid urbanization took place? It is because the industries developed after 1850 in a rapid manner than before that. So this was far for more rapid rate of industrialization that had been witnessed in other European countries. So we can say that after 1850 there was a rapid industrialization and a large number of people migrated from rural area to urban area. And historian A. E. Muson also suggested that there are good grounds for regarding the period between 1850 to 1914 till the beginning of World War I that started in 1914. So the period between 1850 to 1914 was having more or rapid industrial growth, and that can be really called as the revolutionary period as far as the industries are concerned. So according to the A. Muson, the period between 1850 to 1914 can be rightly called as the Industrial Revolution age, and the period 1780 to 1820 cannot be called as the Industrial Revolution age because a lot of other changes also took place between this period 1780 to 1820. So that is only for this chapter. This is the debate which we discussed, that why the period between 1780 to 1820 cannot be called as the industrial age.